Why is Samsung turning to a competitor to power its next big phone? That's the question tech fans are asking as fresh reports reveal that Micron, a major rival in the memory chip business, is stepping in to supply a large portion of RAM for the upcoming Galaxy S26. Traditionally, Samsung's mobile division has sourced memory and storage chips from its own semiconductor team. But things have changed, and now Samsung seems more focused on performance and production reliability than keeping everything in-house. This shift actually started with the Galaxy S25, where Micron reportedly provided 60% of the LPDDR5X RAM chips, leaving Samsung's semiconductor division with just 40% of the supply. The reason? Low production yields. Samsung's chipmaking arm has been struggling with efficiency, meaning it takes more time and resources to produce the same chips that Micron can make more easily. And when production costs rise due to low yields, it's not a surprise that Samsung MX, the mobile division, is looking for better options to stay competitive. Now with the Galaxy S26, Micron appears to be stepping up even more. The company has already shipped samples of its latest LPDDR5X RAM chips to Samsung. These chips use a tighter circuit design, which helps boost production yield and potentially improves performance at the same time. If these samples meet Samsung's expectations, Micron could lock in an even bigger slice of the supply deal for the Galaxy S26 series. And this change could mean more than just background production talk. It might actually affect what you get. With the phone, one of the possible upgrades users have been waiting for is a bump in RAM. Until now, Samsung has only offered the 16GB RAM variant of its flagship in select regions. But with Micron improving supply and output, Samsung might finally offer 16GB RAM as a standard option globally with the Galaxy S26. That could mean a better experience across the board, from multitasking and gaming to app performance and background processing. The decision to outsource more RAM production isn't just about fixing supply problems. It also signals that Samsung is becoming more flexible in its strategy. Instead of sticking strictly to internal suppliers, Samsung is now prioritizing what's best for the product. That kind of thinking could lead to faster innovation and more consistent quality across global markets. In a way, Samsung is following the broader trend in the tech world, where even the biggest players rely on third-party suppliers to deliver the best components possible. And while it might seem risky to trust a competitor with such an important part of the phone, the payoff is potentially higher performance, better efficiency, and fewer delays. With the Galaxy S26 shaping up to be a key release next year, these decisions could have a real impact on how the phone performs and how it's received by users. Better RAM could mean smoother animations, more apps staying open in the background, and a faster overall experience. And if Micron keeps up its momentum, Samsung may keep this partnership going for future phones too. As we get closer to the launch, all eyes will be on whether these behind-the-scenes decisions lead to real improvements in daily use. If you want to stay updated on everything happening with the Galaxy S26, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Will keep you posted with all the latest news. Why is Apple suddenly so serious about cooling its next iPhone? It looks like the iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone 17 Pro Max might finally get something fans have been waiting on for years: a vapor chamber to keep heat under control. This isn't just a random upgrade, it's something Apple has reportedly been testing since 2021, when it was considered for the iPhone 13. Back then, it didn't happen. But now, it's popping up again in reports from sources like Tipster Majin Buu and even earlier hints from analyst Ming-Chi Kuo. Why now? Because Apple's next big chip upgrades, the A19 and A19 Pro processors, are expected to push more power, and that means more heat. Apple already uses graphene sheets to move heat away from the chipsets in the iPhone 16 lineup. It also upgraded the battery wrap from foil to metal, helping heat spread out instead of staying in one spot. Plus, the metal and glass build of the iPhone helps a bit too, But all those methods can only do so much when the phone is being pushed hard. That's where the vapor chamber steps in. It's a small metal plate with a tiny amount of liquid inside. When the phone heats up, the liquid turns into vapor and travels to cooler areas, where it turns back into liquid. This process keeps repeating, pulling heat away from the chip quickly and quietly. If Apple adds this to the iPhone 17 Pro models, it could mean the end of overheating during heavy tasks like gaming, video recording, or editing. And maybe even fewer moments where your phone slows down to cool off. Majin Buu claims the vapor chamber will only be used in the Pro models because those versions will face more thermal pressure from higher-end chips and displays. Meanwhile, the regular iPhone 17 and the new iPhone 17 Air will stick to traditional cooling methods. That could be one of the ways Apple separates the Pro phones from the rest of the lineup. The big question is, will it work as well as expected? Apple doesn't usually jump into hardware changes unless they're really confident. It improves the experience. Vapor chambers have already been used in gaming phones and high-end Android flagships, and they've proven to make a noticeable difference in keeping devices cool. So if Apple does it right, users might be able to enjoy longer gameplay, better video performance, and even longer battery health without feeling the phone heat up in their hands. It's not confirmed yet, and as always, rumors can change before launch. But the fact that multiple sources have mentioned it over different years adds weight to the idea that this time, it might actually happen. Also, if the vapor chamber becomes real, it might open the door for even more performance upgrades in future iPhones without overheating concerns. That could be great news for users who rely on their iPhones for gaming, multitasking, or professional content creation. The iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are shaping up to be serious upgrades not just in speed and camera, but also in keeping cool under pressure. What do you think? Should Apple make vapor chamber cooling standard across all models, or keep it as a Pro-only feature? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy staying updated with the latest tech news in plain, simple language, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.
Have you ever wondered how small a chip has to get before things start to feel magical? Well, Apple might be about to answer that with something wild, a 2-nanometer chip. Yes, 2 nanometers. That's the rumor surrounding Apple's A20 chip. Expected to launch with the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max in 2026. And if what we're hearing is true, this could be the biggest upgrade Apple has made to its chips in years. But wait, we haven't even seen the iPhone 17 yet, right? That's true. The iPhone 17 is expected later this year, with the regular models possibly using the same chip as the iPhone 16. The Pro models, though, are expected to get something a bit more powerful, likely the A18 Pro built on a second-generation 3-nanometer process known as N3E. Then, the next step will be the A19 chip for the iPhone 17 Air, another new model in the lineup. This chip will still be based on a 3-nanometer process, but with improvements under a version called N3P. So, where does the A20 chip stand? Here's where things get exciting. According to analyst Jeff Pugh, Apple's A20 chip is expected to use the 2-nanometer process, which is being developed by TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. This new process is referred to as N2, and it's completely different from the current generation. What does that mean in simple words? The A20 chip could be 15% faster than the A19, while using 30% less power. That could translate to smoother performance and longer battery life, which is exactly what many iPhone users have been asking for. But there's more to it than just shrinking the chip. Apple is also said to be redesigning how the chip is built, using something called wafer-level multi-chip module, or WMCM. This new technique places the memory directly onto the chip wafer, right next to the CPU, GPU, and neural engine. That means data moves faster between them, and the chip runs cooler because the signals don't have to travel far, and that leads to even better battery life and performance. Everything's just working closer together more efficiently. So far, Apple hasn't confirmed anything, but this info isn't coming out of nowhere. It was first seen on Chinese social media, but now with Jeff Pugh's report, it's gaining more weight. To give you an idea of the timeline, the iPhone 18 Pro with this A20 chip is expected in 2026. That's still a bit far off, and before that, Apple will launch the iPhone 17 series. The most interesting model there might be the iPhone 17 Air, rumored to be a super thin phone that takes on Samsung's Galaxy S25 Edge. And speaking of Samsung, let's not forget they're about to launch the Galaxy Z Fold 7 in July. That phone will reportedly use the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, the same chip as in the Galaxy S25. There's also talk that Apple could introduce its first foldable phone around the time of the iPhone 18. A book-style foldable. Like the Galaxy Z Fold, with the new A20 chip would be a massive step forward for Apple. It's still early, but one thing's clear. If Apple really launches a 2nm chip with redesigned packaging, the iPhone 18 Pro could be one of its most advanced phones ever, not just in speed, but in efficiency and battery life, which is something we all care about. What do you think? Would better battery life and cooler performance make you upgrade? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest Apple leaks and tech news. Is Samsung playing it too safe with the Galaxy Z Fold 7? That's what many fans are starting to ask after a new leaked photo of the upcoming foldable surfaced online. The image, which appeared on the Chinese platform Weibo, shows a device that looks strikingly similar to last year's Galaxy Z Fold 6. And naturally, that's left a lot of people wondering, what's really new this time? From what we can see in the leaked image, the Fold 7 doesn't offer a major visual shift. The camera layout, rear panel design, and overall shape seem nearly identical to its predecessor. While some users might appreciate this familiar look, others were clearly hoping for something more exciting, especially considering the fast pace at which smartphone design usually evolves. But that doesn't mean Samsung hasn't made any changes. In fact, there are some subtle design tweaks that might make a big difference in everyday use. One of the more noticeable ones is the shift away from the metallic borders seen on the Fold 6. Instead, the Fold 7 might be getting a titanium backplate. This new material could help make the phone slimmer and noticeably lighter, which is a big plus for a foldable device that already leans toward the bulky